A Bemidji State alum is front and center in the battle against the Ebola virus. Dr. Lee Norman is a 1974 graduate of BSU and is now the Chief Medical Officer at the University of Kansas Medical Center in Kansas City. Norman served in the Air Force and received training on biological and chemical warfare until he left the Air Force in 1991. But in recent years, his services were needed once again.
So then as a civilian for 23 years until some guys with skinny black ties came up and said, we would like you to come back in as a top secret, again, expert in biological and chemical warfare and biosecurity. So I've been working as an intelligence analyst for the government, in addition to my day job as Chief Medical Officer at KU, for about the past 3 or 4 years, where we've been studying Ebola all along, because we knew that it was popping up. And when you think about biosecurity, biothreat, it's an organism that can cause really bad things to occur. So we've been watching it. And fortunately at my place, I think with my somewhat inside knowledge, we have been watching this in earnest since the middle of 2013. We were ready as much as I think we could be when it came to our shores.
And this month, he oversaw the University of Kansas Medical Center's efforts to contain and treat 2 patients who were determined to be at risk of carrying the Ebola virus.
Just a week ago, we thought what we knew our game plan was going to be, and we realized from other places in Atlanta and Dallas that it wasn't going to be sufficient preparation. It was sufficient for that week, but things changed, and we had to be kind of fast on our feet. So we set up an Ebola treatment unit at our place. As it turns out, the 2 cases we've had malaria and typhoid fever, and not near the public health threat. Certainly the latter one isn't, neither of them are. And, but we were ready. And those 2 cases were both within the Ebola window of time of 21 days. So even though they had those 2 things, it didn't mean they didn't have Ebola until we got confirmatory testing, et cetera. But that was a tense few days. We are not standing down. We have learned. We are accelerating our preparations, if you will.
Norman speaking there recently while back in Bemidji for BSU's homecoming on the weekend of October 18th.
If you've enjoyed this segment of Lakeland News, please consider making a tax-deductible contribution to Lakeland Public Television.